Yeah, and I mean, speaking to the the influencers, if we want to get into any of that, because I did want to ask you, Gavin, just more about the Inog from your perspective.
Mm.
There's a lot a lot that's happened. But yeah, I mean, starting with like, yeah, I saw. Did you see Olivia Jumanji, like a dead named Caitlyn Jenner?
What?
That's speaking of DNC influencers.
No.
Olivia Jumana or whatever her
Is that in the
name is.
chat?
That let me see. I
If
can
not, I
probably
can
pull
find
it
it
up
real quick.
if not. It was like one of her recent tweets. It got almost 1 million likes. And I was like, and this is the lady who like took a picture with Biden in the Oval Office recently and was like
Yup.
basically browbeating and yelling at people for like the last year, being like, Joe Biden is the most alive man I've ever met. So yeah, it's really funny that like the Democrats are just like continuing to like push these guys and not really have any self-reflection, because it's like these people and her and Harry Sisson and all those, is it Juliana, is that what it is? Like
Yep, I
these
have the tweet
people
right here.
are toxic to anyone liking anyone. uh
Yeah,
oh
there
yeah,
you
here
go.
we go, almost 646K now. Wow, transphobia pays, folks. um uh Caitlyn Jenner here says, congratulations, Mr. President, thanks be to God. And
So,
then
so
yeah.
Caitlyn was responding to Trump's executive order about how there's just two genders. Is that what I make of this?
Um, well, Caitlyn wasn't responding to anything. Caitlyn was just kind of ignoring that
This is just a
Trump went out
generic
and was
tweet.
like, "Yeah, this is just like
Okay.
muchas gracias, Presidente Trump."
Yeah,
And
because the only way Olivia's tweet would not be just transphobic is if like Caitlyn was literally responding to Trump making a decree about how like we have to dead name trans people, which didn't happen, as transphobic as Donald Trump is. So yeah, she is basically just taking the excuse. That's interesting.
Yeah, it reminds me of Kim Iverson the other day, who randomly went on the most like transphobic tirade about Caitlyn Jenner that was I'd ever seen unprompted. It was like, I'll call him Caitlyn if that's what he wants, because people change their name all the time, but I'm not gonna call him a her. That's ridiculous. And I was like, you guys are so fucking funny. And that's a woman who used to get so outraged if you would call her a right winger. You know what I mean? It's
right,
a it's a
yeah,
new
I mean,
era for the turfs out there.
Olivia better be careful if she's talking to she's dead naming the next governor of California. But we talked about the inauguration a little bit. And okay, oh, Caitlyn Jenner. Okay, I don't want to. I don't want to read this.
No, you don't have to. I was just letting everybody know that it is real if you want to watch Kim Iverson the turf.
I did want to get into a little bit. I wanted to get out of the muck and into the mire a little bit here and get some of your perspectives on the inauguration. A lot happened. I mean, Trump was dancing with the YMCA. That was incredible. Did we see that?
I did.
I did. Is it the full band
No,
back together? I thought it's just two of the guys, right?
it's like maybe just one of them, I think.
Because I thought it was the Indian, and then and when I say the Indian, I mean the man that's dressed up in a Native American headdress. And then I think there's one other guy that also came.
It looked like there was maybe one of them left, and they weren't exactly. They'd seen better days.
I mean,
Okay, see, there's a few of them.
Yeah, but how many of them are original members?
Let me find out.
I heard there was only one of the OGs left.
This is the happiest moment of his life. His whole life has been built to this moment where he is ushering in the not only the most homophobic but the gayest presidency of all time. A presidency that is gay and hates gays.
It is like it is such an interesting fact about Donald Trump that he loves this song so sincerely. You know what I mean?
He does love it more than I love any song, I think. I mean, I love a lot of songs, but I don't listen to any one song that fucking much, let alone have my own.
George Lopez loves Lowrider.
Yeah, exactly. And even pioneering the dance too. That's an iconic fucking new move that Trump basically came up with himself. So
Yeah. And then of course, we had our boy here, and the big thing that I came in with the arms up. Everyone's talking about the arms. I wanted your guys' kind of forensic analysis on the arms here. let's see if I can get this up. Well, first of all,
Ha! Yeah, that's crazy, Gavin. You're right. Really quickly, just throw this up here on screen. Former Village People member says original band would never play Trump rally. Claims the band who performed at Inauguration is an entirely separate entity from the other group he's in. That's hysterical.
Damn. I thought the other ones were dead. They're just like, fuck this shit.
I imagine a lot of them are dead. I mean, that song is really
Okay.
fucking old.
Yeah. Either way,
it's a modern hit. It's back.
One of them, I think it's the guy who was there. He came out like a month or so ago and was like, "This is not a gay song. We do not support gay people," or something like that.
This is the straightest song of all time. This is about protecting bathroom rights. Actually.
Yeah, it says it right there in this article. He denied. He made headlines in recent years for denying that the hit 1978 song YMCA is a gay anthem.
Wow, fake.
And at first, he actually condemned Trump's use of the song, only later embraced it. So, kind of a metaphor for a lot of America, actually. You know, at first, not so sure about Trump. Now, embracing it.
Yeah,
Wow. Indeed.
First not gay, now gay. That's what's happened. But you know, it's kind of crazy that, like, you know, Trump, he's storming in there. He's giving these barn burner like 3 speeches in one night. The conservatives all there, all the podcasters are there, Joe Rogan, Theo Vaughn, the Paul brothers, everyone that is on the internet is there. And he's signing all these executive orders for like Lake and Riley, immigration, getting us out of the climate Paris Accords, all sorts of shit. But somehow still Elon became the #1 story to come out of the inauguration. And I wanted to start with this video, actually, if we could let this screen in here. This was actually just as upsetting of a video to me as the Nazi salute. I mean, my boy is off the dome. This is
What do you think it is? Do you think it's not ketamine?
It's Molly.
It might be.
Molly. This has got to be an uppers night for him. I mean, look.
Why is it not
ketamine?
Eyes. I've never done ketamine.
Because it's like Xanax. It'll just
ketamine's
like
a downer.
Zoink you out. You're gonna like be like totally lost. Like if he was just staring there like this,
he looks kind of lost.
But he's moving his head too much. Like if you'd taken a bunch of ket, you would just like.
Yeah.
He's giving.
Like I said, never done ketamine.
He's giving Electric Daisy Carnival date rape vibes. Like this is definitely a Molly high. He's rolling, he's sweating. And then we get to, I guess, the actual the meat of it. Do we have a clip of the action of the salute of the
sure
Roman
find
salute?
One?
Oh yeah, I'm sure it'll take a real long time to dig it up.
Find this. So yeah, this was a classic Roman salute. Something that people do all the time. People do it normally, and so what's your guys' take here, and why is this totally normal?
You know, because this is a woke podcast, Griffin, and as much as you try and drag us down, and you try and culture war us, and you try and gin up hate in our hearts, this is not an ableist podcast, okay?
Right.
You know, we don't use slurs, we don't disenfranchise.
We don't punch down.
Clearly. You know, it's common. Anybody who's ever known someone in their life who has a neurodivergence, they're always sig hailing. Okay. Yeah. They're always throwing up the Nazi salute. It's not their fault, you know, and we just look past it as a society, you know.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are saying, you know, he did it or he didn't do it because I saw that Batya Unga Sargon lady going, oh, it's actually, I love Elon and Elon has Asperger's. Yeah, this is, I mean, he is
the ADL, everybody went with it.
let's lawyer both. Yeah, then the ADL came in and just on top, which was like the icing on the cake, and the ADL was like, actually, you know what? Fuck it. That was normal. That was chill as hell, actually.
He's a kooky guy.
Yeah, kooky guy. So yeah, we love
it's this. A delicate moment, Griffin. It's a delicate moment. It's a new day, and yet so many people are on edge. You know, our politics are inflamed. You know, just like our college campuses. You know, just like the Western Seaboard, engulfed in flames.
Yeah. So really ringing that stuff in, but I mean, I guess like a lot of people are saying. I mean, I'm gonna lawyer both sides. So if I'm Elon's lawyer, well, I'm just going to say he's very, very high on drugs because he was tweaking. And I guess I would ask the question, has Elon ever done a physical movement that's normal?
Mm.
I mean,
I
we
guess
see him jumping. We see him doing these weird arm and leg things all the time.
Well, my response to the whole like he was on drugs thing is like, yeah, so were a lot of the Nazis, like a lot of the actual Nazis. I said this on stream yesterday. I was like, it's pretty widely known fact that a lot of the actual straight up Nazis were on probably the similar drugs that Elon Musk himself enjoys. It's probably part of the condition of being a Nazi. Your brain is so destroyed by the drugs that you've become so addicted to that you start becoming more and more vulnerable to this sort of fascist logic and conspiratorial nonsense, these rabbit holes. It's just a widely known thing. It's why a lot of literally mentally ill and addicted people become anti-Semitic. Like it's not a joke, but you know, it's definitely I think obvious he was on drugs and he intentionally did this.
Yeah, there's a really good documentary about people who were under the influence of opiates for over a decade, and the amount of Fox News that they consumed over that time radically altered their personality, their politics, and a lot of other things about them. But go on, Griffin.
Oh yeah, no, I was just saying like, yeah, I mean the Nazis didn't do a dry January. They were always tweaking, they were always going off, and I guess this was no different.
They did a high January.
Oh no, you're good, dude.
And now I'm gonna go on the other side. Obviously, he did it twice, and he loves the new Hitler party in Germany. He loves a lot of the Nazis that follow him. He loves Israel. His father was like loosely connected, like his grandfather was like loosely connected.
Not loosely connected. The bro literally moved to South Africa.
Right. Well, but even before the South Africa thing, that they were like bringing it to South Africa. But you know, despite all those connections or whatever, I guess unfortunately, I actually fall somewhere in the middle on this one, guys, because there is
both sides in it.
There's a new modern like Nazi that is just purely from like gamer and 8chan. That's like not necessarily related in the same ways, but is also like the Nazi imagery. Like, well, this was the first time where I was like, maybe he does play video games because like, you know, there's like a lot of weird Nazi energy that's like kind of morphed in this online space. And so, yeah, like I think Elon probably did it on purpose. But is like he's what's next? What's the next type of Nazi?
Well, to me, I mean, I see what you're saying about the gamer thing. To me, what it reminded me more of is just like a seventh grader or something. You know, like when when you're like a seventh grade boy and you're just like, oh, it's real edgy to do a Hitler salute or like to say the F slur or something. You know, that kind of humor that I'm sure we all indulged in at a certain age, where you do the edgy thing. I feel like that's kind of where Elon Musk is at mentally, and you combine that with his absolute obsession with attention. And I think it's that simple, in addition to the fact that, yeah, he obviously has Nazi-like politics, but I think the dude just wanted attention, and attention he fucking got. I mean, this dominated the inauguration news. People were talking about this probably more than anything that Donald Trump said or did. So, you know, mission successful in that sense. It also kind of reminds me of Kanye West. You know, Kanye West is also someone who was just absolutely obsessed with attention, and he would do crazier and crazier and crazier things to obtain that attention. Eventually, the craziest thing left to do was literally become a Nazi, and he literally became a Nazi, which eventually, you know, kind of burned out. We haven't heard from him in a year or so, but I think Elon might eventually enter a similar realm where it's like he just gets more and more explicit with this stuff in order to keep outraging people and getting more attention.
Yeah, and as Griffin pointed out, it goes back to his family roots.
Her parents came to South Africa from Canada,
maternal grandpa,
because they sympathized with the Afrikaner government. They used to support Hitler and all that sort of stuff, but they didn't know. Obviously, I don't think they knew what the the Nazis were doing. But they in Canada, they were in the German party in Canada, and they sympathized with the Germans.
Yeah.
So when the Afrikaners government came into power here in 1948, then May's father, who was quite an interesting guy, he was a very good pilot. He said he wants to be with the Afrikaners because he agrees with apartheid, you see. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So he comes from people who agree with apartheid, and now he's thrown up a Nazi salute. And it's getting harder and harder to deny the reality of
I'm not trying to
Elon
put him in a
Musk.
box. I won't put him in a box. We are not our parents. We can grow. We can become better. And maybe he just does enough drugs and like overdoses or something. That could be a bright light at the end of the tunnel. Like, you know, Trump is unhealthy, but Trump doesn't do drugs or drink. Elon, very unhealthy, does do drugs. So, I mean, maybe he just burns out. That's my hope, you know?
Yeah, you know. Oh, did you have something?
Oh no, you're good.
Last thing I wanted to get Griffin's reaction to. I don't know what else Griffin has in store.
I wanted
for
to talk
today.
about some other inauguration stuff, but hit me with what you got.
Sweet. This one is Donald Trump
yeah, let's do
basically
it.
taking us into war with Mexico.
Since foreign terror organizations, would you think about ordering U.S. Special Forces into Mexico to take them out?
Could happen. Stranger things have happened.
Stranger things.
So, you know, feeling really good about Peace Daddy Trump, you know, no new wars, Donald Trump, the
No
man
new wars.
reclassifying the cartels as terror groups, you know, strip them of habeas corpus, make sure that Congress doesn't have to get involved if we want to send troops there. What was your guys' reaction to that?
Well, it's scary for me as someone that likes to vacation in Cabo. You know, this could throw a wrench in my Cabo plans. I don't like that. I also do think it would be hilarious to see the cartels absolutely wash like a few invading like units, like squadrons, and then they go, I guess we just have to nuke Mexico. Like, I guess we just have to nuke Mexico City. And I would love to see President of Mexico, Anel Shalin, on the battlefield. I'd love to see her with a sword on the front lines.
Wait,
Yeah, who knows?
wait, what isn't her name? That's not the president.
Oh yeah, no,
Scheinbaum is the last.
it's Scheinbaum, not Shalin. Sorry,
I was like, Claudia
Scheinbaum.
Scheinbaum is the president of Mexico.
I said Anne Shalin, who is a Department of Defense person that quit over Palestine, Gaza. That's a fact check. We fixed it live on air. But
you know what? That's Elon's other salient point. That was just a blip in the matrix. You know, that was a zero that should have been a one that should have been a zero.
I wanted to ask Zach about this because, you know, there's a lot of executive orders, a lot of nonsense happening. But one of the biggest things that I think will have major reverberations is these fucking meme coins. So I had to tap my finance bro here to break some of this down for me. Trump released a coin and it made like $1 gajillion in like an hour. And then Melania released a coin and it's just like Coin City. And then this motherfucking guy who did a sermon at the inauguration immediately drops his coin. Let's take a listen right here.
I need you to do me a favor right now. I need you to go buy the official Lorenzo Sewell coin. I want you to be able to see politics become manifest, not just in a way where we're praying over political gatherings, but where we're seeing us become the hands and the feet of the Lord Jesus Christ. Would you help me? Would you help us in this endeavor? Would you go and purchase the coin in order for us to do what we need to do in the ministry?
That's what we have to do.
For the children.
Coins. We need the coins.
For the good of the children.
And so I guess my question, like, Zach, is like, so this is going to be one of probably out of nowhere, like one of the largest transfers of wealth upwards. And it seems to primarily be coming only from like Trump fans, right? Because like it's not tricking like normal people. It's just tricking like MAGA people, right? But it is such a large sum of money.
So it's not a trick. That's the thing. And that's one of the things that Gavin and I have been talking about. What it is it's a way to manipulate Donald Trump. It's a way to have leeway and leverage and sway with the guy who's the most powerful man in the world. So it checks a couple of boxes, and this is why they did it. One of the things that seriously bothered Donald Trump was all of the shots about him not being a legitimate billionaire. It really got under his skin. He hated when Mark Cuban would come out and talk about it. He hated when other guys like Bill Gates would come out and talk about it. It, like, you might be like, oh my God, that's so petty. That is Donald Trump. It made him extremely uncomfortable. The guys like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk were so much richer than him, even though he was more powerful than them. So on paper now, Donald Trump is comparably rich to all of the richest tech bros around him. He's comparably as rich to Zuckerberg. He's comparably as rich to Elon. He's not as rich as them, but with the $56 billion valuation of his Trump coin, he's a lot closer. He's definitely a billionaire, and 89% of his net worth is now tied up, supposedly, in this Trump coin. But as Gavin and I pointed out, and Gavin, you were actually really astute to observe this right off the bat, it's how he's going to curry favor with international business. It's how he's going to take money to settle his disputes with Deutsche Bank. It's how he's going to get money from Mohammed bin Salman. And those are the people that are really driving the value of this coin. What they want you to think is that it's a bunch of delusional Trump fans that have somehow driven this up to 55 billion. And yeah, there are some people who are Trump fans who have pumped it up. But the reality is the big movers and shakers, these are big, big, big boys, and they know what they're doing. They're just buying favor with Donald Trump.
Oh, okay. So but like they could lose that money, right? Like they're not all gonna like come out on top on that one.
They're gonna pull the rug out.
Donating.
It's not donating, right? So,
but the Trump guys own like 80% of it,
right? So it is donating, but what it also is it's like Donald Trump isn't going to liquidate that. He's not going to liquidate. Not right now, not during his presidency, because it's going to be so important to Donald Trump that his value and his coin and his personal assets stay high. Right. So it might trickle off. I think it's dipped from the high of 56 all the way down to 43 billion. So I'm not saying that it might not fall to something like 15 billion during his presidency.
So he's not rug pulling. I'm trying to understand.
I wouldn't expect a rug pull to come from Donald Trump immediately like this. I think he's going to want to build up value for Trump coin. And I think
we should buy.
I don't think you should buy because I don't think the value is going to go like up.
It's already done.
Yeah, exactly. Your opportunity
so we have to wait
over the morning.
We have to wait for the next the Baron coin. We have to wait.
Someone is saying it's already down 40%.
Down 40%.
Rug pull already happened.
Isn't that the whole point of these, that they rug pull them? Like, isn't this the whole Hawk Tuah thing all over again? What makes this different from Hawk Tuah? Who
it's not different
so
at all
Trump
from
could
Hawk
fly?
Tuah. And that's a great point from Mr. Portnoy over here. He says, I have a dumb two-part question. What's the difference between the Hawk Tuah coin and the Trump coin besides nothing? And
that's my question, Zach.
Coin and tell people it's a Ponzi scheme from the jump, and I'm going to rug pull at some point, and you better just hope you're out when I do it, and that would make the entire thing legal. When you say rug pull, a lot of people will think of a Hawk Tuah situation where it goes to a value of nothing. I think they're going to sustain a real value for Trump coin because it's tethered to Donald Trump's ego, and it kind of assuages any of his cash is king instincts, has been the kind of way I've been explaining it to people. But obviously we don't know, and I would never recommend anybody invest in this.
Okay, so I still think it's Hawk Tuah. You're going on vibes. I'm going on Hawk Tuah. Is that where we've landed on this whole?
Well, it's already different than Hawk Tuah, though, right?
Because there's more money.
There's a lot more money, and the value has sustained itself for a lot longer.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, I guess that was that. Some other stuff. Some other things I had to shout out from the inauguration. Really important stuff. Megyn Kelly was very unhappy about, I think this is Jeff Bezos' girlfriend, very upset about what was going on here. Some people are saying that Mark Zuckerberg was checking her out and giving her looks. And then Megyn Kelly, oh, you took
this is not my first time saying she dresses like a hooker, because she does. And we called out, we had to deal with some Hollywood PR firm. I can't remember who we were trying to get, but we tried to avoid those people, but sometimes you can't. And this PR agent went off on our booker. Mm-hmm. They're so angry because they represent her or they do some business with her. And she had, talked to that, whatever. It's like those two don't like to be made fun of.
Yep.
He's done a lot to change his look. He looks nothing like he looked 20 years ago. I don't think she's seen a doctor. She doesn't want to go under the scalp. I mean, you tell me. That's not natural. No.
Wait, see a doctor for what?
To go under the scalp, Griffin. Ooh.
Doesn't he mean under the scalpel, like plastic surgery or something?
I think so. Unless
she's saying the boobs aren't big enough? I'm confused.
She was making a comment about how she hasn't met a plastic surgeon she doesn't vibe with.
Oh, she's had. Oh,
and
Megyn Kelly hasn't.
No, I think she's talking about the Bezos girlfriend.
She's talking about Lauren Sanchez.
And she's her face does look pretty like she's had a lot of work done, undeniably. Mm-hmm. Still a random thing to care so much about. I didn't even know Megyn Kelly gave a fuck.
Well, I mean, what else? I mean, she has to do a complaining clip like every episode, and now that she's won everything with the Trump thing, she's like, "What do I complain about? I guess this." Yeah, I like it. Let's have these ladies tear down. I guess maybe she would have preferred more of the Melania hat, more of the obscure the face. Like maybe we're going for like the whole covering the women's faces now thing. I mean, did we like Melania's outfit?
Well, I
Oh,
thought
the
it was
hat.
hilarious that she wouldn't let Trump kiss her even on his inauguration day.
Yeah, I mean they haven't that hasn't happened in a long time.
He
right?
like is about to go up and he tries to give her a kiss and she just holds her face away and she's like, nope, denied. You're about to go give your inaugural speech. You're not even allowed to kiss me on the cheek, you disgusting bastard.
I got it right here. Let's play it. It's because Trump likes sort of the BDSM. He likes being domed. Beautiful. I like the hat. It's very.
It's like how you
severe.
kiss your grandmother when you're pretty sure she's on her way out and you're like, yes, I love you. I don't want to catch anything though.
But regardless, it was a big victory for Trump. Trump has signed all these executive orders, and including this Lakin Riley Act that all the Democrats, like 14 or 15 Democrats, also signed this one, including I think John Ossoff and the other guy down there, Warnock, also signed this, I believe.
Both of them are endorsing it. That's fucking crazy.
Yes, I believe they both signed on because they're from like the state where it happened.
Yeah, Georgia.
And it's like, okay, so like you guys are really leading by example here. Great. So
Ruben Gallego and Fetterman also supported it.
So yeah, I guess the next couple of years are just going to be like the liberals just like pretending to like also be like tough and just kind of like rad lib. Like, what are your guys' predictions for like the next 4 years in terms of what liberals' response is? Because for me, I haven't seen the Democratic Party in such bad state anywhere in my lifetime. This feels a lot like the Whigs. I don't know. Like, I think if you want to see the Democratic Party destroyed and potentially something like come out of it that's different, maybe not better, but different, I mean, it does seem like now is the time.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I've been saying about how like the only silver lining of all of this is that it does offer Democrats an excuse to reset, and kind of the left more broadly an excuse to reset and rethink the proper way to deal with MAGA and the proper way to kind of put forth an alternative to it. But what is shocking, and I totally agree, is that it seems like there's no leadership whatsoever. It doesn't seem like there's anyone that's actually leading the party or leading the resistance. I was saying a while ago that the Democrats are in a similar place that the Republicans were in after Mitt Romney lost to Barack Obama. But even then, it still felt like there was a Tea Party presence in Congress. Like, it felt like they really cared about stopping Obama from doing everything he wanted to, and repeal and replace, and like they were constantly beating
the national debt.
Yeah, constantly beating the drum against Obama and making up shit. Benghazi, all this kind of stuff. It was never ending. I don't sense any of that this time around. Last time we had Russiagate, which was kind of like the Democrats' version of Benghazi, and I certainly don't want them to go down a road like that again. But at least it seemed like some people were interested in resisting Trump and trying to, change people's mind and turn them against him. Now it doesn't seem like it at all. It seems like a lot of capitulation, as you mentioned. So I don't know.
And
bro.
not only that, but we for our big players, like AOC spent the last 6 months saying we're working tirelessly for a ceasefire and like attaching herself to the hip to Biden to basically not get any payout from that and get totally cucked by 81-year-old Jerry fucking Connolly for the oversight committee. So it seems like she has been kind of betting on the wrong horses, and her path is now.
Well, she was betting on the horse for Biden to stay in the race. If you guys remember that, she put out this giant statement that we lampooned her for that was like, "Oh, Joe Biden, he's our guy," and it was like, "No, dude, that's not what you're supposed to say. You're supposed to be saying, get him the fuck out of here. He's doing a genocide." And to your other point, Griffin, I think it's totally up for grabs what's going to come, but if a leader is going to establish themselves, and somebody, I don't know who it'll be or what kind of politics they'll have. Maybe they'll have Bill Clinton kind of politics. Maybe they'll have Bernie Sanders kind of politics. I don't think the American people will differentiate so much from the Democratic Party if a real, authentic, schmoozing, diplomatic speaker and leader comes by. I think somebody that has the ability to orate like Barack Obama would make people swoon right now. And I am hoping desperately that leader will emerge in the form of a true left-wing populist a la Bernie Sanders. But I don't think that at this point the Democrats could turn their nose up at anybody who's charismatic and eye-catching, and I don't think they would.
Well, they 100% would. I completely disagree. And they've proven time and time again they would rather lose and do it their way than let it be our way. And I think that people do need to come to realize
Oh,
that.
I meant Democratic voters. I think you're talking about the
yeah,
government.
the party or whatever. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But like the party is willing to lose over and over again, you know? And so, you know, for me, I say like, you know, when Republicans are attacking Democrats, when some crazy Republicans like that Democrat's a pedophile, I'm going to say, yeah, sure. Maybe they are. Who knows? Like all these people need to go. I'm not defending a single one of them. They all like there should be no protection of any of them. They should be completely cleaned house, and no one should be like defending them from like Republican attacks. Like that they should just be shredded by anyone, including us.
Oh yeah. No, I totally agree. I totally agree. And like I said, the only good thing about the total void or vacuum of leadership when it comes to the Democratic Party is that it does offer the ability for an outsider to kind of come in and be like, yo, what the fuck is going on? You guys clearly need a leader. Let me lead you. That's sort of what Trump did in 2016 with the Republican Party, because they were also totally sort of, you know, just, I mean, look at their candidates in 2016. They had fucking Ted Cruz, Carly Fiorina, all these idiots. Trump's the only one that really spoke to the base, and it would be sick if we could get a leader like that for the left, someone who's obviously, you know, not a fucking narcissistic piece of shit criminal, but you know what I'm saying?
And I can't help but just like harken back like one last time to, I mean, our boy Ryan Grimm here, I got this article up that, you know, libs assured me over and over again that this actually didn't matter to voters, that like seeing dead kids every single day on their phone, like didn't affect people that much. They didn't really care about it. But it seems more and more like Gaza was like a massive nail in the coffin for like the Democratic Party, not just like Biden being so old that like he was literally a zombie on stage, but just this whole Gaza thing. And that like, you know, I think we are in like a different era now where, you know, people may not understand all of the textures and confluences of why these like wars are happening or whatever, but they do see it on their phones and they don't like it and they're sick of seeing it. And I really do think like this shit lost the election. So like anyone that was like doing like 99% Hitler versus 100% Hitler takes leading up with Biden or Kamala and any of this stuff, like those people need to go too. Like any like liberal fucking YouTuber or commentator, like they need to be absolutely gone. Like
I mean, I kind of disagree with that, just given the fact that there was no magical third option, right? Which I feel like is kind of divorced from your analysis here. Like, what are you supposed to do on October 10th, right? When there's Biden or Trump or Kamala or Trump, you know what I mean? I agree with you that
you're supposed to push them to do the right thing on this issue that's losing them the election, not tell people it doesn't really matter or people don't really care about it. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you when it comes to that, although I also wish that those people who have decided that they care enough in a way that makes them stay home would have cared enough in a way to like show out and actually demonstrate something, because I don't think these people can be moved in a way that's just, oh, you know, we lost the election. You know what I mean?
I mean, like I think it was like what, like 18 or 19 million people stayed home or whatever. Like I'm not really sure how many it was, but
I think it was
like
20 something percent of the people that voted for Biden stayed home this time around.
It was like a massive like depression or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it was confounding that like all of these people were like, oh, like Kamala will be slightly different, even though she like showed like no differences at all from Biden. And we were all supposed to just like accept that people don't really vote on foreign policy. And I think that's different now. I do think
I hope you're right.
Actually are paying attention to this stuff. And like, even if they couldn't describe it to you, they're not going to be able to be like, here's why it happened. Here's all the details. Here's exactly why it's wrong. But people inherently see this stuff and know it's wrong in their like hearts and souls. And
well,
like any kind of like, but Trump and like, which is all of the same tactics I see from all these liberal fucks online that couldn't give a shit about these fucking people being slaughtered. It's just like, but Trump is worse. Trump is worse. So gotta vote. You can't let Trump win. And it's like, that's not how people think about this. People see that Biden did this, and so people are going to be pissed and people are going to be depressed in the turnout. And instead of like lecturing people about some other like worse or greater evil, people just aren't going to show up. And that was like very borne out in this Gaza thing.
Yeah, oh, I totally agree. They just decided to stay home because of it. I don't know exactly what position commentators were supposed to put themselves in, you know, in the after there was no primary, a lot of people on the left pushed for a primary, and then when there was absolutely no other options, they were like, yeah, I mean, Donald Trump. I mean, and you look at Donald Trump's policy even post ceasefire. I mean, he let Benjamin Netanyahu kill 90 some odd people right after the ceasefire. They're invading West Bank. There's all kinds of sieges. So I mean, it's hard to even paint this as, obviously it was a step in the right direction in Gaza, but it's going to probably result in another step backwards. So it's not even like that was a real solution.
Yeah, I mean, the whole West Bank stuff is awful right now. But was happening under Biden as well.
I also think it's worth saying that I feel like a lot of people would have voted for Kamala Harris that did not vote for Kamala Harris if she had just done the bare minimum to separate herself from Biden's policy. Even if she even if she was planning on doing the same shit and just continuing the genocide, she could have just said like, we're going to try a new path. As much respect as I have for President Biden, clearly this tactic has failed. We will try a new strategy and obtain peace as soon as possible. That's what I said she should have said for the longest time, because you promise peace, and that's not like, you could still kind of construe that as being pro-Israel. Oh, this is actually the pro-Israel position to bring peace back to Israel and to restore the hostages and to bring diplomacy to the region and all this kind of stuff. You don't have to, even say that as a critique of Israel from the Democratic perspective. Obviously they should have, but she didn't even say that. She basically was just like, yeah, we're going to keep giving them money. We're going to let them defend themselves at all costs. It was insane. She literally did
military.
She did nothing to separate herself from the massively unpopular position of Joe Biden.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, people will be like, okay, well, it's like a fake ceasefire, and Trump is doing all this like bad stuff or whatever. But like, I think if Kamala won, we wouldn't even have the fake ceasefire. And like, how damning is that of the Democrats that they couldn't even do a fake one?
Oh, I mean, I think that is the critical takeaway. We released a clip yesterday where we were reacting to Norm Finkelstein, where he basically lays it out. This is Joe Biden's failure. He talks about how when Barack Obama took office in 2009, he demanded a ceasefire in Palestine because there was a massive annihilation campaign that Amnesty International was calling for a ceasefire for, and he didn't want it to impede on his, inauguration day. He was still running as being the peace guy, and you see it again. It immediately stopped. The actions were halted until well after Barack Obama's inauguration. And Norm Finkelstein was making the case that that's exactly what Donald Trump is doing. But the takeaway from that is primarily that Joe Biden had the ability to call for a pause or a ceasefire or a stoppage in fighting at basically any point in his entire presidency and chose not to, which obviously is a disaster.
Someone said they did a temporary ceasefire a while ago. No, they didn't. They did a hostage exchange. That was different.
Yeah, well, we'll see if this current ceasefire ends up being anything more than a glorified hostage exchange, because that's what's happened so far. There's a few
differences from the people I've talked to in there. First of all, they are going to be letting a lot more cameras in. So we're going to actually see photos and stuff that we weren't able to see before, which is really important. You're going to start to get BBC, CNN cameras in there that weren't allowed in there before. So you're going to get all of that footage. They're going to start to count more bodies. So they're going to start being able to update like the count of the dead. And Hamas has like reamassed and is at the level it was on October 7th, and might even have grown a little bit, actually, because when you kill all the people, they're gonna defend themselves at the end of the day. Like when you subject them to this, like,
it's not just an excuse though for them to keep going to war more and more viciously. Hamas is regrouped. I guess we have to keep.
And they 100% will. But it actually, from a military perspective, is hard to withdraw and then redeploy. Like, that is a task. And now Netanyahu has to juggle like all of his internal political turmoil when the constantness of the war was like allowing him to kind of keep a stasis. So there could be stuff there as well. So there's like a few things opening up around this temporary ceasefire. I mean, including just like reporters that I know in Gaza and like doctors that are taking off their bulletproof vests for the first time. Like there is something that has changed there, even if it's going to lead to more horrors, which it likely will.
Well, I mean, that's good to hear, right? Obviously, any respite from the insane fucking suffering that's been going on over there is welcome. I mean, I remain skeptical of Donald Trump's political diplomacy.
You probably
internationally.
should. I mean, no, don't be
But-
skeptical. We know what they're gonna do. Like they're gonna sweep northern Gaza into the new Trump hotel. But northern Gaza was already destroyed under Biden. That was already gonna happen. That was gonna be hotels under Kamala too. Like I'm still like looking for like the super worst thing. Like, oh, the settlers are going to the West Bank. That was happening before as well. Like maybe things will get expedited faster under Trump. But I think this was just going to happen under either president, to be honest with you. How sick and depressing that is to say out loud, but yeah, I think it really is.
I think the main difference is that Trump and his family is going to personally benefit financially.
A Kamala hotel. You're right. Kamala wouldn't have been making any money.
The redevelopment of Gaza would not have been handed off to like Kamala's, stepdaughter or whatever.
Tim Walz's daughter gets a new gig anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, otherwise, I pretty much agree with you. Yeah, it's pretty clear the Democrats weren't. It's not like Kamala was going to come in there and tell Netanyahu to get his act together and cut off the weapons and do an arms embargo and start sanctioning Israel. Obviously not. But I do think there's a certain brazenness to which Trump's like, yeah, I'm a real estate developer. Gaza's a beautiful place. Let's do something nice with it. I think my son has a real estate group in the region that could be in charge. Like there is just something specifically disgusting about the president of the United States personally, being enriched based off of the situation to that extent. But I mean, yeah, it's
Aaron Trump,
3LD in chat says
All-Star. He's gonna lead the first Northern Gaza basketball team to a championship.
He could play by himself. He could three-man him. Someone's saying, I'm doing lazy both sides, bad shtick. Why not tell us just not to vote? Chank, is that you? I'll have you know, Chatter, that I wasn't going to vote for either president, but then I read an article saying that Iran wanted Kamala to win, so I voted for Kamala right in the last second because the Ayatollah told me to. Yeah, the thing is, bro, is like, yeah, like I care most about probably like the people in Gaza in the concentration camp and not like the fact that both parties are killing them. But sorry, bro. You got this. You'll get them next time, dude. You're gonna get
Griffin.
policy.
The chat's great. The chat's great in a Griffin. Only Griffin and I are allowed to be mean to each other. Chat, you have to sit it out.
I will go check mode. Let's end on a wait, go the other way. You have to go side screen with it so we can read the title here. I got pregnant at Beast Games, a Beast Games baby. So I just want to end on a high note. I want to say there's a lot of darkness in the world. There's a lot of evil. People are depressed, but light finds a way. Life finds a way. And, things happen in amazing places. Okay?
Is this be
optimistic?
Are we sure it's going to be a human baby?
It could just be a YouTube channel. Yeah, she could give birth to a new channel.
It's like a Rosemary's Baby situation.
Yeah, this is the next installment of Titan. I see the car in the background.
They're like feeding it to Satan, and it's just Mr. Beast.
Who the fuck is Sarah and Josiah too?
Uh-oh.
Are these like orbiters of Mr. Beast, or is this just another popular YouTube channel? Like,
I know nothing. I just know that it was an incredible thumbnail. It was just an incredible title. And
Sarah and Josiah. Sounds like Mary and Joseph.
They only have 12.1K subscribers. They're definitely not a giant YouTube channel. It's just this video that blew up.
The son of Beast.
They're trying to be Zach pregnant.
They're trying to be like Mr. Beast style YouTubers. So you know how we were talking about the other day where like this would be the worst kind of YouTube to try and get into because it would be such a pain in the ass. This is what they're trying to do. It's like the DIY floating effect. You only need one thing.
Do you think that the videos weren't doing well? And he was like, baby, we need to get you pregnant at the Beast Games if we're going to make this YouTube channel blow up. Holy shit. Look at the views on this one. Yo, dude, Zach, we have to get you pregnant. This is the way to do it.
I'm prepared to take one for the team.
I got pregnant at the Trump inauguration.
And it's Patrick
and Ben Shapiro and PBD are like both touching your belly. It was a trifecta. Guys, did you guys not do the Destiny stuff?
We saved it for you. We saved it for you.
Damn it.
I told everyone that you had exclusive information from the belly of the beast that you're excited to spill live on the Vanguard. So what's up, Griffin?
I told you guys to do the Destiny stuff, but you did the news and you made me do the Destiny stuff. This is fucked up.
You're the Destiny expert. You know, when we're like, there's a man, there's Steven, Mr. Burinelli. I'm like, God, Griffin. You sent us a bunch of stuff about Destiny. I figured you were primed and ready to get into the muck and the mire with this man.
I feed you piggies all the time. I feed all sorts of people stuff. Okay, you guys are my little birdies. So that doesn't mean I wanted you to do the dirty work. I didn't want to talk about this because I am also suing
He's
Destiny.
implicated in the lawsuit. I knew it.
I'm suing him as well, separate lawsuit, because tier 5 subs for Destiny's channel were promised feet pics from him. I haven't gotten those feet pics. That's a tier 5 sub. That's $50 a month that I'm doing a payout loan for. And yeah, I haven't gotten a single foot pick yet. So I don't know. I mean, where do we begin? I mean, he did give a statement. Do you want to hit the statement? That might be a strong place to start.
Well, before we hit that, Griffin, do you want to share any of the experiences you had at the inauguration?
Hell yeah, dude. It was so sick. Dude. I mean,
what
listen,
was it like?
It's so awesome. Now, I love collecting evil people, and this was like an ultimate gotta catch them all evil event. Now, this is an off the record event, and you know, I'm not gonna say anything that was discussed. Just a lot of firm handshakes, a lot of big ideas, but it was every evil podcaster all in one room. I was really surprised they got them all. I literally checked everyone off my list, and it was incredible. It was incredible. Someone asked, did I see Anna and Scent there? Did not see either Anna and Scent there.
We were speculating as to whether or not they might have been present at one of these galas going on, maybe the Free Press Ball featuring Conor McGregor. Not sure if you saw that going on, but there was a lot of them.
I did meet someone from the Free Press, but that's all I'll say there. But I don't know. You guys saw my pick.
This man was featured here. Oh, sorry, I forgot to.
Can we get that up on screen? Can we share that with the public?
Yeah, you can share that. We can put that on the record. I met PBD. It was awesome. And you know, the big thing my big takeaway that I can say on the record was, you know, these people are exactly who they are on camera. Like there is no act. These are these people. PBD was fully himself. It was incredible. He filled me with light. You guys having trouble finding
it? Did he motivate you?
Oh yeah, I don't think we sent it over Twitter. It's just in the
send it over Twitter.
Okay, I'll send it right now.
We got to get this one up on screen. This was a good one.
He value-tained me, and yeah, he was a chill ass bro. All right, send it right there. I will say, there was 2 people I can talk about that were not famous, that were my favorite 2 people I met all night, and they were guys.
You did not send that over over Twitter, so I don't know where that went.
Yes, I would. This is great content, by the way.
I know, it's awesome.
I circle jerked it.
Weird. It's not sending. That's okay. We can.
Fuck. This whole thing is ruined.
It's okay. We can move on. Don't
No
worry.
one gives a fuck. Just keep talking. We'll wait for it to sit.
Just make your way through it, Griffin. This is the live stream.
You're right. There was 2 homies though that I spotted that were both like 8 feet tall, like basketball players, 8 feet tall white guys that wore hats that said "Make coal great again." And I was like, okay, I gotta talk to these guys. I gotta see what this is all about. Oh yeah, that's me right there.
Oh, big time. Mr. Success with the chocolate martini, and you won't convince me otherwise.
How dare you? Espresso.
It's an espresso martini. Look at that right here.
Espresso martini.
If it's an espresso martini, it's half Bailey's Irish cream.
Check the top. Check the 3 beans on top. I wouldn't be caught dead with a good dive of chocolate martini. This is espresso martini all the fucking way.
Patrick looks kind of scared too. I don't know what the context
He's
this was.
intimidated by this alpha male.
He looks kind of like a deer in the headlights or something.
I told him about our next chapter. Yeah, no, he does that. He does that face in every photo. I like it. It's better than smiling. But yeah, I met 2.
Did you actually get a chance to chat with him? Like you said, he was who he pretends to be.
It's off the record. All I'm saying is, you know, it legitimately is. But not that fucking matters or that anyone watches this fucking show. Sorry, guys. But
hey, we have almost 1,700 people watching now. Over 1,700 watching right now.
Yeah, how many of those are the China bots that I bought you?
A lot of China bots in our audience. A lot of China bots.
These 2 guys I met, they had "Make Coal Great Again" hats. And I was like, brothers, lay it on me. What's up with these coal hats? And like, how can I get one? And they were like, we're from South Africa. And I was like, Elon, guys, immediately.
Wait, what was different about them? The coal?
they had MAGA hats, but it said "Make coal great again." Coal.
What?
And so I was like, I gotta know what.
Isn't that the opposite of Elon's thing? Isn't he all about the electric car?
Well, but then they were from South Africa, so I was
That's
like,
what I'm
maybe these are Elon guys. But I was like, tell me about the coal, and they're like, it's the #1 energy resource in the world, and I was like, absolutely. And he's like, they're like, do you know how much coal is used by the world? And like 50% of all energy is coal. And then Mac, good politic guy, hit him with the good follow up. Okay, but how much of the U.S. percentage is coal? And they're like, oh well, blah blah blah. They like just totally bailed on that.
What the fuck were they, like the sons of like a coal magnate or
I asked
something?
them, I was like, why? How'd you guys get into coal from South Africa? And they're like, we love money. And I was like, no, man, it's not. I can tell you love coal more than just the money. It's deeper than that. And so those are the kinds of people at the party: coal miner empires, and a who's who of conservative podcasters. And the mood at the inauguration was, very triumphant. Very, we are the culture now. We are the leading trailblazers, and
the establishment has been defeated. And as a result, they're now striking back. And some people say the establishment was very afraid of a certain Mr. Burinelli, a Mr. Stephen Destiny. And yesterday we got our feet wet on this, Griffin. We got our feet wet. We went over the Substack post that kind of illustrated, hey,
we got to put that back up at some point, though, just in case anyone's not familiar.
All right. Well, we got to get our ducks in a row. Gavin, where would you like to start?
Let's start from the beginning. In case Griffin had something else in mind, I feel like probably the best place to go about this is just to throw up this post from a streamer named Pixie, someone who apparently collaborated with Destiny in the past. And
Pixie's very nice, by the way. Yeah.
Oh, you've met her?
Yeah, very nice person.
That's good to know.
Seems pretty genuine from when I've spoken to her and talked to her. So yeah, I feel like this is a real one.
Well, that's good to know. I've never watched any of her content, didn't know about her before this, but she says on November 29th, the streamer Destiny non-consensually shared my nudes, making me a victim of revenge porn. I will be suing him in federal court. And then she links to a URL that at this point maybe seems to be broken. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with that, but when I hit that link, it redirects to sort of a broken link kind of a page. I think that's the link yesterday that we pulled up that led to the Substack, which Zach has now. I'm not sure what's going on with this post exactly, but either way, she goes on to
too much
outline this allegation, and it's pretty intense. Do you just want to start going through this?
Yeah, absolutely, guys. So Griffin, chime in with whatever you know.
The gist is that there was a lot of nudes that he was then using. Now this is allegedly, and I'm just reciting what's there because listen, I cannot get sued. I need to get the Nintendo Switch 2 is coming out this year, okay? But she alleges a lot of the nudes were purposefully leaked by Destiny to other people in an attempt to get more girls, that he was flirting with other girls by showing that he has nudes. And it's
he's like, yo, I ain't no chili pimp. Look at this stable, y'all. You think I care about you little hoes? You think I care about you little fleas over here? Look at the stable I got. Look at all my shit. Look at all my trophies. Look at all my gems. This is disgusting.
James Franco was far more moral in that movie than Destiny. But yeah, I just gotta say,
way more style.
Are we in middle school? Nudes? Is Destiny gonna be 50 years old asking someone what's your major? What the fuck are we doing here, man? If I had to ask some 19-year-old girl what she was majoring in, I would walk into traffic. I would walk directly into traffic.
This is something we've talked about a lot on Circle Jerks. Who has time to be really into
this
Destiny?
horny?
Once you're 22, once you're 22, who the fuck knows who Destiny is? So he's trying to get girls who have recently had their hearts broken by guys who were into Destiny, maybe. I'm not sure where his Venn diagram overlaps here, but clearly he doesn't have any game. He's like a 12-year-old boy when he takes his shirt off. So it's just he's going to try and do all the weird, cringy online bro stuff to get pussy, and it's a disaster, and now it's probably criminal. And he's had to come out here and release this giant statement saying, what now? This is from official Destiny people on his subreddit.
Oh, so this is from Destiny or from his mods?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. No. This is no, actually, this is one of his mods. So there's another statement. Pull up his statement first. Destiny posted a statement.
Okay,
to
we're
that
gonna go on
first.
this one because this is
So-
the one I have, and you guys keep fucking me up ever soon as I start to try and go into this. So,
Okay. All right. All right.
all I want is to make a short post that goes on over a few things regarding the sub and my position. I didn't take any time to really format this or clean it up. Hopefully, it gets my point across. He then goes on to say a bunch of bullshit about how the sub is normally really cool and doesn't revolve around stuff like this, which is kind of a lie.
I mean, we don't have to read any of this. It's much better to read the Destiny post. But essentially, the gist of this is that, like, it seems like at least a portion of his community is rebelling or, like, actually mad at him or whatever. But, like, I think this is cope. I think that Destiny will come back. Like,
Do we have the actual post from Destiny? Because I'd like to see what he says.
So
Yeah.
there is no official post from Destiny, was what I was saying on his subreddit. They've locked everybody from being able to make points or posts that aren't approved. And so this is what's come out. And he says Destiny said he's taking a break until at least February 1st, which is what I was trying to get to. And I'm going to leave him be until then. I truly plan on trying to allow this community to continue in whatever way it can, because a lot of people here feel like they have nowhere else to go, myself included. Basically, what they're saying is they know that Destiny did this, but they don't know how to do PR for him yet. And that was the main crux of this long diatribe for him.
Papu Chick
Destiny's
says
going away.
This Papu Chick says, "Yo, Griffin, you're a guest. You're not a producer on this show." Yo, Papu Chick, you're a chatter. Okay, and you're not even a guest. And
Also-
unfortunately for you and myself, I am a producer on this section of the show. Like, it's all L's there, buddy. Okay, let's go back.
I was about to say, in Griffin's defense, he is literally a producer of Circle Jerk. So,
Unfortunately,
you know, he has the right to cut off Zach, to
For 2 or
bully
3
Zach
more
on
episodes.
Man, now I'm taking it from all sides. We've again long documented Gavin's verbal and physical abuse. I have to wear headphones when he doesn't to cover up my cauliflower ears because I haven't drained them in a few days. Now I've got Griffin busting my hump.
Oh wait,
my
no, he's a
Lord,
member.
help me. I
He's a
feel
paid
like
member.
the
I'm
Riz-
sorry, Papu Chick. Actually, Papu Chick, I see you. I
an
see you.
investor.
Yeah.
Hey, Papu Chick, my heart goes out to you, just like Elon.
But is Papa Chick a shareholder? No. So
That's right.
either way.
well, we're valuetaining him. So, anyways, the Destiny stuff. So yeah, I'll get the statement, but ultimately, like, I guess the question was, are his fans gonna get mad at him for this, right? Like, you know, regardless of how it sorts out in court, like,
will he face consequences? Yeah.
and what are consequences? I mean, like legal or whatever, but I ultimately, like, the career, right? Like, what's gonna happen to the career? And I love this, starting with legal arc beginning in mysterious ways.
Legal
Such
arc.
wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
This
I
is
want to
good.
be clear. The leak happened without my knowledge, consent, or authorization. I never had an intention for any of these images to be published. I haven't spoken about it publicly regarding the situation for a few reasons. I'm actively pursuing criminal and civil litigation on these matters against multiple parties. Speaking publicly about these materials brings more attention to them, which harms all the victims involved. I've been trying to move on from covering
This is important.
drama
Number
content.
3.
LOL, as it has had increasingly negative impact on those in my life. One
Wait, can we
person
pause
involved-
on that one?
Yeah.
So that's always the great excuse when people get canceled. They're like, hey, we're not. It's just too much drama content is the problem. So watch out, guys. It could.
The
happen to
Vanguard's
you
never had a
too.
problem with it.
Yeah, and it seems like to me there's already quite a few examples that are on record or on air of Destiny kind of admitting to this behavior. I was watching President Sunday's video on this, and he shows numerous examples of Destiny basically outright admitting to this behavior, specifically as it related to his ex-wife, whose name was like Melania or something like that. I think he explicitly said on air
Melina,
that she actually expressed her issue. Oh, we can hear that.
Sorry.
Either way, his ex-wife, came to him and said, "Hey, I don't appreciate you sharing our sex tapes with people without my consent." And Destiny was like, "Well, I didn't realize that was an issue until she told me, and then I realized that it might be an issue after she told me." But that was already after he had admitted to unconsensually sharing their sex tapes, and apparently this is something he did quite frequently. Like, he would film his sexual interactions with people and then hold it over their head.
Can we just,
basically
like,
as blackmail in a way to get them to shut up when they threaten to go public with allegations of abuse and toxic behavior, predatory behavior, he would then say, well, do you want these images out there? Do you want these videos out there? And it seems like time and time again, he delivered on those threats, actually leaking this information. It's potentially where the Nick Fuentes stuff came from, in addition to the Lauren Southern stuff also. So it's pretty wild. And some people have even compared the behavior to like Diddy, where he's like blackmailing lots and lots of people. I mean, it's pretty crazy, bro. It seems like he has a whole like, network or ring of victims here.
How is he making Diddy look classy? Like this just seems even more lowbrow in terms of, or childish in some way. Yeah, I don't know. Not great. I mean, can we just go back to like traditional stuff like killing small animals like other serial killers do? Like, I don't know what this whole collection of photos stuff is. It's like it's a very bizarre to me. Do you have a transition?
Oh, I was just going to say, we also have this from Pixie. She says, since posting the original message, she's received countless messages of women informing me that they have received pornographic content from Destiny, content they now believe wasn't made or sent with consent. If you've been sent this content or might be a victim, DM me. We're stronger together. So yeah, it seems like, going back to Destiny's community and their backlash or any sort of consequences Destiny might face career-wise, I think it kind of depends on if this does keep snowballing, right? If
Dr. Disrespect got fully red hand caught, and he went back to doing still decent numbers online. He's like the butt of a lot of jokes, but like
Dr. Disrespect is mostly just video game shit, though, right?
Yeah, he streams games. He's a streamer.
I think the only difference is, in my opinion, maybe you feel differently, but Destiny does talk about politics, and he kind of focuses.
He's taught all the red pill guys for a long time about respecting women. So yeah.
Well, people can point to hypocrisies, and when your whole job is like telling Trump supporters they're immoral and the things they support is immoral, and talking about how MAGA is not democratic and how Trump is a rapist, like it kind of just makes it reduces your credibility, and it reduces your moral high ground when you have this massive damning scandal. So I feel like being a left-wing or liberal political streamer does make it worse for him versus just like, Mr. Beast or like fucking Dr. Disrespect or like one of these people that's not really focused on politics. But who knows? I mean, Vosh totally survived his scandal.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think part of what Destiny has going for him, to put it really crudely, is the fact that his audience is extremely anti-women kind of in a weird way. Like they're all just like kind of freak online little bastards, and
they're post-political. They're like angry nerds. Like they care less about a political position, more about just like their king being awesome and their best version of themselves.
There are a lot of like liberal incels in his community, though. I think Zach's right about that.
Yeah, for sure. I just think that they don't have anyone else that they think represents them. And for the same reason that Vosh was able to survive his lolly incident and the horse porn incident and the short stacked goblin incident and all those weird things, is because there are a lot of weird guys out there that don't have a community, and they feel like, oh, these guys will understand me. They also have this weird fetish. They also have this weird, compulsion to look at lolly porn and whatever the fuck else. You know what I mean? I think with a guy like Destiny, his audience is just going to be like, yeah, fuck those hoes. Like, oh, these now no takesies, backsies, like all kinds of like really regressive, barbaric, I'm angry and online kind of takes. And I think it'll insulate him. Plus, I don't think that he's going to likely face any real criminal consequences for this. So he'll just keep going.
Have an example of a streamer who like lost their career or whatever for like getting canceled? Because I feel like they all come back to like the same numbers.
I'm trying to think.
I can't think of one. And like, I've met the, Steven, at an event or two, and met the Orbiters, and it seems like all of the Orbiters around Steven, like all like it's very groupie-esque. There's like a harem vibe almost to it. Like, and like, as long as it's all consensual, that's fine. But yeah, there always seemed to be something strange and weird about it. Cause not only are people like, when you were like a groupie for a rock and roll band, you just wanted to like fuck the band. You didn't think like you would all of a sudden be in the band, or maybe they did. I don't know. But like, it's like the double like career thing where like the streamers are like trying to get their own streaming careers like off the base, and also like hooking up with him, and it's just fucking weird.
I do feel like Destiny though is like trying to kind of make this pivot into more mainstream liberal content. Like a lot of his videos these days are they have higher production value. He's shooting in a room with some like serious person. He's doing all these interviews with people that are running for the head of the DNC, right? Like he's trying to be a more serious media personality, at least from my estimation, instead of just a, sweaty streamer in a dark room, going live for 12 hours at a time. I feel like he is kind of trying to transition into a more like professional sort of a vibe. I do think this would be an issue, specifically if the allegations keep snowballing, if more people come forward. And also, he lives in Florida. It's illegal in the state of Florida to unconsensually share pornographic photos or videos of someone else who didn't, give you their permission. So it's not impossible to think that this could become a genuine legal issue for the guy. I have no idea to what extent there's actual evidence that he was behind the leaks. I imagine he went to some extent to make sure that there wouldn't be a way to trace him back to that. But like I said, he's basically already admitted to this stuff on air. I have a clip if you want to check it out.
I would love to check it out. My last thought before we go to that clip is just like, I think this is good for Destiny because he had nothing to say about the fallout from the election or any politics and has had no good takes about anything going on since the election. So he needed a new arc. Maybe being in jail will be a great arc for him. Maybe he gets electrotherapy or lobotomized. Like there could be a lot of great new arcs for him because clearly his interest isn't talking or analyzing any of the politics that have been happening over the last 2 months.
Yeah, the only pushback I would have for him to ever going to jail is it's hard for me to ever anticipate somebody facing legal consequences for something like this after what Russell Brand did and basically confessed to, and even with a rape kit, nothing ever really held him back. I do agree with Gavin's point, though, this will be an impediment for him, without a doubt, going towards that more mainstream liberal audience. But I do think that he'll always have that 5,000 to 10,000 live viewers on YouTube when he decides to go live.
Oh, yeah. I mean, OJ Simpson could have gone live before he died and had, 10,000, 12,000 viewers. Like, even the most canceled person ever can still get attention. That's definitely true. But, a sustainable career, a respectable profession, that's another story.
I mean, you're a YouTuber. No one's going to respect you. Even like Mr. Beast is like the top of the game, and he's like, there's something hollow within him. So, yeah, at the end of the day, we are YouTubers.
True. I'm not saying this is going to totally end the guy's career, to be clear. I do think, though, that these are serious crimes we're talking 100%. About. Like, this is an actual a network of sex crimes and abuse that is seemingly being uncovered. Let's take a look here. This is one of those examples. And I actually do recommend you guys check out the full video that President Sunday did. I've enjoyed some of his content before. I don't watch him very much, but I thought he did a pretty good job addressing the nature of these crimes and just how intense it actually is, and the extent to the cover up. Also, a lot of these Destiny orbiters that you mentioned, Griffin, have basically known about this for weeks, if not months, and have stayed silent. Yeah. And only now is it really, becoming publicly known of. Even I didn't really realize this was going on. But yeah, let's take a look. This is him talking about his ex-wife.
She isn't going to leak or talk shit. Melina will not leak or talk shit about any of this because she knows that everything about this makes her look like a fucking satanic demon. She knows that. She's threatened it a million times, like, I'm going to start leaking everything. Oh, yeah, let's go. Okay, if you really want to, because my reputation is already zero in regards to our relationship. Everybody thinks I'm a horrible piece of shit. We want to start leaking shit. We can do it.
Fast forward to November 2024. Due to the solo leaks, it has come to light that Destiny has been sharing intimate private messages, nude images, and pornographic videos with a 19-year-old OnlyFans creator called Rose, who he was sexually interested in at the time. Rose leaked these to a Discord and Kiwi Farms user called Solo Leaks, who may, for all we know, be Rose herself, who then published them to Discord and to Kiwi Farms. These leaks included intimate romantic and sexual DMs between Destiny and Lord Southern, who Destiny had long denied being romantically involved with, while she became increasingly present in his public personal life and on stream, despite being publicly at odds with each other politically on the surface. Destiny even once described her activism as involving, quote-unquote, drowning refugees. These DMs revealed that, in fact, Destiny and Lawrence had been mutually declaring their love and admiration for each other, including expressing intentions to separate from their respective partners to marry each other. All of this was happening behind the scenes, despite Destiny publicly claiming to his audience that he and Lauren were not involved, and while he was publicly accusing his wife Melina of lying and of being controlling privately when she would express displeasure about the relationship and when she requested that Destiny stop associating with Southern.
In addition to these leaks.
Yeah. This is very Harvey Weinstein coded, right? I feel like we're somewhere in between Harvey Weinstein and P. Diddy, because I think the point that Griffin was bringing up earlier, the fact that
let's be honest, P. Diddy's way worse. P. Diddy's like, I was joking earlier, P. Diddy's way bigger and worse than this.
If you forgot we're recording on Circle Jerk America, not CNN. I'm sorry, brother. Yeah, you're right. Don't take us too seriously, everyone.
I'm holding you accountable. There's lawsuits going around.
Oh yeah, Destiny sues me. That's going to be fucking great for my career. The reality is, though, is that, yeah, he was trying to negotiate proximity to his platform for sex, and that's basic casting couch shit. And then he filmed it so that he could leak it, so that he could continue.
And blackmailed him.
Yeah, continue his perverse incentives.
100%. And here's the one I was actually trying to play earlier.
In accordance with a previous agreement that he wouldn't.
Me and Melina had a conversation about, there were a few girls we talked to. It was like, oh, cool. Like, we should record videos of like us fucking shit and send it to people. Like, it's fun. I kind of like have like my little archive of like Coomer material that I'll send to people if I want to. There were girls that I talked to past that I'd send stuff of like either me or Melina. And Melina talked to me and she was like, hey, if you're going to send any videos to new girls that we haven't talked about, like, let me know that first.
Griffin, you live in Brooklyn. You probably deal with this kind of thing all the time. You know, all your polycules and your, fetish circles and your group texts.
Before I send a nude, I do have to check in with all 5 of my moms.
That's the other thing about this. Like, abuse aside, problematic behavior aside, I just don't understand, like, on a basic flirting level, like, you're getting to know someone. Oh, I know what'll interest them. Here's a video of me fucking somebody else. Like, it's just a weird way to go about getting to know people, even prospective partners, like sexual partners. Like, oh yeah, check it out. Here's me in action from last week. Like, check it out, bro. Like, what the? Who does that?
I do like sending nudes to an OnlyFans girl. It's like giving presents back to Santa. It's like he's got them. He doesn't need any more.
Show me an all-star that doesn't watch film, Griffin.
But no, I'm okay with consensual nude exchanges. I'm okay with all sorts of freaky stuff. I'm not okay with someone over 30 having a Coomer materials folder. That's where I draw the line. You shouldn't save any, like, just like Vouch. Why are we saving porn anywhere? Porn should it's like a river. You let you stand in the river and it flows by you and it goes down the river. You don't.
It's like a David Lynch film. You don't need to understand it. It just needs to wash over you and give you pleasure. And you let it go.
Yeah, and you let it go, and you're like, damn, I really wish I wish I had a physical copy. But yeah, you can't do that with porn. We mentioned orbiters. My contribution that I wanted to lull a little bit about was it's very clear that one fucking dipshit asshole that's been on the scene for a while. Here, I'm presenting this here.
Lonerbox
is also out because apparently Destiny like hooked up with his girlfriend or whatever, allegedly, and so now Lonerbox is supporting this outing. He's retweeted the Pixie thing, and he's also taking a break from the DGG, or as they call themselves, the Taliban community.
Yeah, will you scroll down so people can see it?
I literally can't. It's a screenshot. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter. He's retweeting the thing.
Because so now that Destiny fucked his girlfriend, he's like, Destiny's a bad person.
that's where I draw the line. And it's like, dude, it's like you modeled everything of your physical appearance, your stream, your perspective. Like, you wanted to fuck Destiny too. That girl just beat you to it. And I'm sorry, like, I don't have any sympathy for you, man. You've been like, the one thing you've been doing is being like, Israel is actually a little more complicated for like the last year and a half, and just like trying to scrunch your hair up to look fucked up like Steven. Like, I'm sorry, it's pathetic.
You forgot, he's been leaking information that Ethan Klein is going to use in his massive dossier on Hassan Piker, the terrorism lover.
So he's doing video. So he's doing praxis. He's doing video diary praxis. But I did see some like clips of him being like, Hassan Piker's being so mean to me. And like, it's just like, okay, bye-bye. Maybe this whole crop needs to go.
Yeah. I mean, amen. I totally agree. This whole crop does need to fucking go. They were some of the worst elements of the sort of like Democratic propaganda arm that manufactured consent for all the worst aspects of Kamala's strategy. They were all protecting Joe Biden like up until a day or two before his ass finally had to step aside. They defended Israel. through all of the genocide and all of the savage horrors that we've witnessed. They've come up with excuse after excuse for all of the neoliberal shit. They went hard in the paint for fucking the funding of Ukraine. They made that like their whole personality for an entire year. It's the most worthless faction of the online left, in my opinion.